What's going on, everybody? Johnny.
Kaytee.
And we just wanted to do a video, talk to you guys about perspective. We're going to start vlogging stuff, you know, day-to-day activities, us working out, different adventures, paddleboarding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also different things that we're like talking about. We're like, hey, let's share this with everybody else, you know. And today we're going to be talking about perspective, you know, how like you think that I'm probably a pretty tall guy. But actually I'm not. I'm just on this little step stool. So perspective, it's actually pretty important. What your perspective is on your situation, what your perspective is on life in general.
On yourself.
On yourself.
Yeah.
It plays a huge role in not only how we feel about ourselves, our emotions, but also the choices that we make and how we treat other people.
Yeah.
You know, we could treat people bad because we have a negative perspective of life, you know? So, you know, we were just kind of talking about perspective, and Kaytee, if you kind of wanted to share some, you know, what it means. And
yeah, so anytime we kind of get into these little discussions, Johnny and I always like to really define what it is. So perspective is a particular attitude or way of regarding something or a point of view. So if you guys know us, you know, we've dealt with a few different struggles in our life. Of course, everyone has. But how do we handle these struggles and kind of go through it and get on the other side of it? And so, Johnny, in a struggle that you've had, if you could share maybe about your back or something, what got you through and what perspective is good and what perspective do you perceive as bad?
Well, first, to start off with the struggle, I would say, let's just pick one out of the hat. When I broke my back in 2011, I'm a professional high diver and Russian swing artist, and at the time I was performing for Cirque du Soleil out in Las Vegas at the Bellagio Casino in the O Show. And I fractured my back, and I broke my L3 and my spinous process and had compression fractures. So during that time, I did a lot of sitting and watching TV and really not doing anything. I went from, you know, living out my dream to sitting in a lazy boy, not being able to do, you know, pretty much anything. Definitely was not physically active. Right. And so I had a lot of time to think. And throughout that, I actually started to realize how negative my mindset was. You know, all I was focusing on is why I could not do something or what I could not do.
Right.
You know, because I was limited because of my back pain. And I think focusing on the problem instead of the solution is never going to resolve anything.
Right.
So I started to change my mindset. At first, I was aware. Once I was aware that I had negative thoughts, then I could start to work on it.
Right.
And so then I decided to change my perspective. Okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So at that time, say, lazy boy, you're in the eye of the storm. You're right in the middle. You're seeing everything around you. It's kind of chaos. But if you could lift yourself out of that a little bit, you look at it from an aerial view, an aerial perspective, and you can actually kind of look down on the problem and say, you know what, this isn't that big a deal, I can handle this, and you kind of figure out that awareness that Johnny was talking about, and being able to make those steps to get out of that storm.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah. And so another thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about today that kind of goes hand in hand with perspective is passion.
Passion.
We wanted to talk real quick about, you know, what are you passionate about? And I know for me, you know, I'm passionate about you guys. I'm passionate about encouraging people to pursue their dreams, and to find out, you know, what are you passionate about? Do you even know? I know at one point in my life, I wasn't sure what I was passionate about.
Right.
So we want you to think about what is it that you're passionate about. And the definition of passion is...
Yeah, it gets a little bit gray because everyone now is talking about, oh, I follow my passion. I'm so passionate about this or whatever. But a lot of the times, you know, my friend Kevin McCarthy brought this to my awareness, is that passion isn't just something you love. Passion is something that you are willing to suffer for. What are you willing to wake up and grind for? Is it your family? Is it a sport? Is it your education? Is it being a mom or dad, or, you know, or it's basically, what are you willing to just completely dive into and just go after with all of your heart? And when we look at passion, a great first place to look to is the cross. Jesus, he was passionate about us. Passion of the Christ, passion. He is the inventor of it. He was willing to die for us. He died for us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And he was so passionate that he sweat blood. You know what I mean? And that is something, I sweat in the gym.
Passion.
I feel pretty passionate, but nothing compares to that. You know what I mean? So if we can find something that wakes us up in the morning, that drives us, that encourages us, that something so deep-seated in our heart, we're going to be successful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that, Johnny, is that what you think kind of got you from the eye of the storm into that aerial perspective, is figuring out what your passion was?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes things, a lot easier. Just like she said, that, what are you willing to suffer for?
Right.
It makes those things a lot easier when you're faced with, that trial or whatever it is that you're going through. You think, hey, I'm willing to suffer through this because I know that I'm passionate about this, and I know that this is what I want to do for a living. So, and that also, and this is a whole nother video, but vision, you have to have a vision, and that's what we're passionate about, is we want to encourage you to know the idea of your life. So many people nowadays have no idea what they want to do. When you were younger, you knew what you wanted to do. You wanted to be a firefighter, or a policeman, or a soldier, or, a stuntman, or, whatever it is.
Yeah, and you weren't being pulled in all these different ways. It was like, this is what I want, and I'm doing it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? And that's where we want to get you to.
Exactly.
So you have. It's not like you're like, hey, when someone asks you, what do you want to do with your life? You're like, I have no idea. We want to help you know. We want you to know the idea of your life and know that you're planted with purpose, and in purpose is that vision. So we don't want to make our video too long, but we just kind of wanted to. This is our first video that we're making, and do a little intro action.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of the gist of our clothing line, and the reason why we started it is basically to encourage you guys to pursue your dreams. Listen, you see all those people in the world that are successful, that are living in their purpose every single day, whether it be musicians or actors or whoever. And
kids going through school,
they started off just like you. I guarantee they worked a 9 to 5. I guarantee they did jobs they did not want to do. I guarantee they have to suffer through things in order for them to get them to where they're at. It didn't just happen, but it did start by them believing that it would happen. So we want to encourage you.
One little belief, right?
Yep, exactly. So we want to encourage you to, hey, listen, that dream that you have, that the fire might have went away and dimmered out, to light it back up. Because guess what? If you're passionate about it, keep believing and keep pursuing it and keep that vision in your mind. And it's going to make and change your perspective on life, and it's going to just completely change how you view the world and your day-to-day activities. Don't be on autopilot. Have purpose. Pursue that passion and your dream and go for it, because eventually one day that door will happen and it will change your life.
And it's one of those things that it's always in the back of your head. It's like, okay, no, I'm going to do this because this is what I'm supposed to do and this is what everyone's telling me to do. But you got something. It's this, it's something deep inside of you that you're like, a drive, right? That you have to keep going. So we encourage you to keep going. Keep pressing forward. We're going to be making more videos. Obviously, we have a lot of different things that we want to discuss and we want to talk about. So we'll be making more videos. And if you have any suggestions, or if you've accomplished a dream, or if you have a dream, we'd love to connect you with different people, or talk to you one-on-one. So like Johnny said, we are passionate about you guys, and we are passionate about people finding what they're passionate about. So I don't know how many more times I can say it.
Yeah, we could just have like a little Dropbox down here in the corner that says how many times we said passion, but I think it'd be like at 204.
Yes. Not fun.
So, all right. Hey, listen, guys. Have an awesome day. Change your perspective. If it's negative, if you feel like you're in a rut and you feel like, you're doing everything and there's no purpose to it and you have no drive, maybe you're not passionate about it. Maybe you're chasing after something that your parents or somebody else wanted you to do because they said that you'd be good at it, but you're really not passionate about it. So take a moment today sit back, kick your feet up, and just think.
Right.
And just think, you know, what am I truly passionate about, and what am I willing to suffer for?
And what so the next 50 years, I mean, what do you want your
Yeah,
next
you want to
50
do what you
years
love.
to look like? You know what
Yeah,
I mean? If you could, as you're sitting there, sitting back in your little lazy boy or whatever, think about 50 years from now.
Yeah.
What is it that you will have wanted to accomplish? What is it that you will wanted to see and do and be with and
you don't want to
have?
look back saying, man, I wish I would have.
Right? That's the worst. So cool. Awesome.
Well, until the next time.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye. Are you going to go down the elevator?
Yeah, I'm going now.
Okay, bye. I'll get the video.